Hi people, welcome back to Pick Insurance Agency. My name is Anne. So today we are going to talk about travel insurance. So if somebody asked you what is travel insurance, it is a product mostly required by travelers, those who are traveling abroad from Kenya as the departure place or the departure location to any other destination in the worldwide, but according to the policies of the insurance company. And it is a requirement for visa application. So if most of the time you've traveled, you know that when you're applying for a visa, then you need a travel insurance. And that's why we're here to learn about travel insurance, the things, all the conditions that are covered, the exclusions, the requirements, the premiums, and the rating of the insurance policy, and anything else that pertains to travel insurance. So welcome back, don't go away. So when it comes to what a travel insurance entails, it is the coverage. And one, you have to consider the location to where it covers. You'll find that most of the insurance companies give a travel insurance as Kenya being the departure location to any other location in the world. So this cover is worldwide. So you'll find that some destinations are excluded by some insurance companies, either because those countries are prone to war or some natural calamities like floods or storms. And so it's good to look into the policy you're taking or the insurance company that you're taking up to see whether your destination is covered under the travel insurance. The other thing is the time frame of your travel. You'll find that the maximum period of 6 months consecutively. So if your journey is extending 6 months, you just know that your travel insurance will cover up to 6 months consecutively. But for people who are business people and they travel abroad to take maybe to buy products and then come back to Kenya, there is a plan that is called a multi-trip plan, where you go outside for a certain number of days. Usually it's 90 days, then come back, and then you go again and come back. So you would prefer to take the multi-trip annual plan. So let's talk about the risks that are covered under a travel insurance. These are things, the whys you are taking the travel insurance. One, we have the emergency medical expense, because when you travel to, let's say, to a country like Spain, you don't want to go there in case of an emergency medical expense, then you get stranded. So that is why the embassy requires you to have a travel insurance where emergency medical expense is catered for. And under that emergency medical expense, and in this, it's good to note that it is not illnesses and sicknesses like having malaria or pneumonia. No, it must be an emergency medical expense, and that this might come out of maybe an accident or an unfortunate things happening to you. The other thing that is covered under a travel insurance is emergency medical repatriation. So repatriation means you being moved back to your country because of such occurrences. So any expense that you will have to incur for you when you're in abroad to come back to Kenya, then that is also covered. The travel insurance also covers emergency evacuation. Evacuation is being moved from the scene of the incidents to a safer place. It may be a hospital or another home. Maybe you are just somewhere hiking or in the ocean having fun, or any other place which is a dangerous place, and then you need to be moved from that place to a safer place, maybe a hospital or a health center or a safer home. That is what evacuation means, and it can be by road ambulances or via flight. So those also are covered under a travel insurance cover. The other risk is cancellation, curtailment, missed connection, or travel delays that come up when you're engaging in a flight. So for example, for a cancellation, you may have booked for for a flight and then it's cancelled. And maybe you had traveled from your place to the airport, and in the airport, because of the cancellation of your flight, you incur costs. They're also covered under the travel insurance policy. Curtailment means having to cut short your journey. Let's say, for example, you had booked your journey or your travel insurance for 90 days. And then when you travel abroad, out of any circumstances, it may be illnesses, and then you have to cut short that journey, you come back to Kenya. You see, you had paid premium for the whole time frame, but now you can claim for a prorated refund because you did not spend all your days, or for the days that you had taken the travel insurance. So that is what curtailment means. The other thing is a missed connection. We know that sometimes when you're flying to destination, there might be stopovers. And when, for example, leaving Kenya and then you're going to a country A, in between you have a stopover at a destination B. And in that destination, you miss your flight to your destination. So out of the missing of that flight or missing that connection, you incur costs of, let's say, accommodation, food and drinks. You can claim for reimbursement of whatever you spend at the connecting location to your final destination. And the other one is a travel delay. Maybe you were supposed to travel and then it has been postponed to a few hours later or to a day later. Every other expense that you spend, you can claim for a reimbursement. The other thing that is covered under travel insurance is losses of luggage, also losses of things like passport, visa, driving license, or any other travel document. You can claim under the travel insurance cover for those because there are requirements for your flight when you're going and when you're returning home. The next risk is death. I know we don't like talking about this a lot, but it happens and it is covered under the travel insurance policies. And this includes burial expenses, return of mortal remains back to Kenya because it's your departure location, and also cremation at the destination where you were. The other is emergency dental care, because and this is just not the illness or the dental care, it must be emergency. That means it would arise maybe from an accident or any other unfortunate thing, and it's also covered. We also cover permanent total disability, because if you got an accident, maybe you may incur fractures that lead to you being disabled permanently, and so it's also covered in the travel insurance cover. Then last but not least, we have hijack, hostage, and wrongful detention. Although those are things that do not occur often, they are also covered because there is a possibility of them occurring. So in case you're hijacked or you're wrongfully detained, then also it is covered in the insurance industry. Are we together? Have you learned something? So what are the requirements of taking a travel insurance? One, the travel insurance is itself a requirement from the embassy, but you yourself, what do you require for you to take a travel insurance? One, there are the documents that you require, and it's your original ID. You take a screenshot. You submit a copy of your ID, a copy of your KRA PIN, and a copy of your passport. Those are the only 3 documents required. And then other requirements are, of course, your contact, your email address, and your physical location, where you come from or where you were staying before traveling. The other thing is the details of your next of kin, or someone who can be contacted in case you are not available. In this case, you're supposed to give their name, their contact, and their relationship to you. So lastly, you also require money, because of course you are paying for the travel insurance. Like I said, it's not a lot of money, and I can't say like it's a specific amount because it is determined by the number of days you're traveling and also the plan that you choose, because every plan has its own limit, and the higher the limit of coverage, the higher the premium. So you will also require to get that into your bucket of lists, the premium or the money you pay for the insurance, for the travel insurance product.